Now, first let us discuss what is hypertension. As per WHO, hypertension is defined as systemic blood pressure of 140 by 90 millimeter of mercury or more on at least 2 occasions measured at least 1 to 2 weeks apart. It means whenever the blood pressure is more than 140 by 90, we suspect hypertension. Prehypertension is a systolic blood pressure of 120 to 139 or diastolic of 80 to 89 millimeter of mercury is defined as prehypertension. Now, let us classify hypertension. Hypertension, when the blood pressure is less than 120 millimeter of mercury systolic or less than 80 millimeter of mercury diastolic, is considered as a normal blood pressure. When the blood pressure is between 120 to 139 millimeter of mercury systolic or 80 to 89 millimeter of mercury diastolic, is known as prehypertension. When the blood pressure is between 140 to 159 millimeter of mercury systolic or diastolic 90 to 99 millimeter of mercury diastolic blood pressure, is labeled as stage 1 hypertension. When the blood pressure is more than 160 millimeter of mercury or diastolic more than 100, is stage 2 hypertension. It means whenever the blood pressure is more than 140 systolic or more than 90 diastolic, they are considered as hypertension, and the when blood pressure is more than 160 systolic blood pressure or more than 100 millimeter of mercury, the diastolic is stage 2 hypertension. Now, before we come to classification, so whenever patient of hypertension comes for any surgery, his blood pressure has to be controlled before we are planning for normal surgery. Otherwise, there are complications during or post-operative period. So, if it is a planned surgery, the blood pressure should be controlled before taking for any surgery. Now, classification of hypertension. Hypertension are mainly classified as essential hypertension and secondary hypertension. Essential hypertension, in which the cause is not identified. 95% of cases of hypertension and characterized by familial incidents and inherited biochemical abnormalities. So that in 95% of cases in blood pressure, we don't know the exact cause, and they are known as essential hypertension. Secondary hypertension, in which there is a demonstrable cause, and in less than 5% of all cases of systemic hypertension, we know what is the cause, whether it is because of kidney disease or because of any endocrine tumors or because of any known cause. In 5% cases, we can detect the cause and we can treat accordingly. Otherwise, in 95% cases, cause is not known and they are known as essential hypertension. Now, condition associated with essential hypertension: increased sympathetic nervous system activity, sodium and water retention, hypercholesterolemia, insulin resistance, obesity, alcohol and tobacco use, obstructive sleep apnea, glucose intolerance, ischemic heart disease and angina pectoris, left ventricular hypertrophy, congestive heart failure, cerebrovascular disease, peripheral vascular disease, and renal insufficiency. These are the conditions which are associated with essential hypertension. Hypertension as risk factor for ischemic heart disease, angina pectoris, left ventricular hypertrophy, congestive heart failure, cerebrovascular disease, stroke, peripheral vascular disease, renal insufficiency suggest end organ disease. So, whenever a case of hypertension comes for surgery, if it is uncontrolled hypertension, so patient is at risk for ischemic heart disease, congestive heart failure, cerebrovascular disease. Hence, blood pressure should be controlled before we accept patient for any planned surgery. Now, coming to pathophysiological changes due to increased systemic blood pressure, hypertension leads to increased myocardial wall tension, which causes increased myocardial oxygen demand, coronary insufficiency leading to heart failure. And increased myocardial wall tension also leads to left ventricular hypertrophy, which may lead to heart failure or may causes increased myocardial oxygen demand, which causes coronary insufficiency and heart failure. So the main problem with hypertension, if it is a chronic hypertension, there is a increased ventricular hypertrophy, increased myocardial oxygen demand, which causes ischemic heart disease and heart failure. And coronary insufficiency and heart failure can cause infarction or dysarrhythmias. Now, treatment of essential hypertension. The standard goal of therapy is to decrease systemic blood pressure less than 140 by 90 millimeter of mercury, or in presence of diabetic mellitus or renal disease, it should be less than 130 by 90 millimeter of mercury. We can decrease blood pressure by modification of lifestyle like weight reduction, moderate intake of alcohol, smoking cessation, increased physical activity, moderation in salt intake. A 10 kg weight loss decreases the systolic and diastolic blood pressure by an average of 6 millimeter of mercury and 4.6 millimeter of mercury respectively. So, whenever patient of hypertension come for surgery, with little lifestyle modification by reducing the weight and by controlling the alcohol and smoking, we can decrease the blood pressure. Now, coming to pharmacological therapy, depending upon the stages of hypertension, accordingly we treat hypertension. Initially, we give diuretics, and in case patient is not controlled, then we add another different type of drugs. Now, if patient had previous myocardial infarction, ACE inhibitors, beta blockers are given to the patient. In cases of heart failure, ACE inhibitors, aldosterone antagonists, beta blockers and diuretics are given to the patient. High risk coronary artery disease patients are treated with ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers or diuretics. Diabetes patients are treated with ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers. Chronic kidney disease, ACE inhibitors are given, and in cases of recurrent stroke prevention, ACE inhibitors and diuretics are given. Now, after treating patient and after managing the hypertension, then we accept patient for anesthesia, and anesthetic management we are going to discuss in next class. Thank you.